So for the first time ever, I just bought a burger with Bitcoin and also a milkshake. And it was awesome. It was a super smooth experience. So recently, Steak and Shake started accepting Bitcoin as payment, which is super awesome. And yeah, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the experience and how it was. So I got this receipt and it's super cool. You can see on the receipt how many sats it was. So I paid 12,153 sats at an exchange rate of $1 for 973 satoshis, or 1248 US. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about like what happened under the hood, right? Because if you're someone who doesn't understand Bitcoin, you would just think basically I gave them some magical, silly internet bucks, and then in exchange, they gave me a burger. But in reality, what happened is, right, so if we simplify this to just say I sent them a Bitcoin transaction, right? What happened is all I did was participate in the Bitcoin network, the Bitcoin financial network. With my wallet, I broadcast a transaction. I signed that transaction with my private key. The nodes in the network would then try to validate that transaction, say, yes, this looks like a valid transaction. And then the miners would eventually put that transaction into a block. And so that would be a base layer Bitcoin transaction, right? And those would be slightly higher fees because there's more demand for base layer transactions. But what I use today and what you would use if you went to Steak and Shake is the Bitcoin Lightning Network. So the Lightning Network is a layer 2 on top of Bitcoin. So if you would compare that to something else, it would be like a credit card, right? A credit card is a layer 2 on top of the base layer of money, right? You are transacting on a different network that is still related to the base network, but is on top of that network. So the best way to understand the Lightning Network is like, it's like a bar tab basically, right? So bar tab is like a layer 2 because you give the bar your credit card, right? And then you create a bunch of smaller transactions. You buy a drink here, a drink there, an appetizer here. And then at the end of the night, you make one larger transaction to settle those more micro transactions. And that's the same thing the Lightning Network does basically. You're keeping track of a bunch of small payments here back and forth. And then whoever opens this Lightning channel then creates one transaction to settle a large amount of payments back and forth. So that's what happened here. And that's why with this transaction, I paid a fee of only 2 satoshis was the fee for this transaction because it was on the Lightning Network. And yeah, the Lightning Network is awesome, right? It allows for Bitcoin to scale for day-to-day payments. And I would argue that the Lightning Network has been almost too successful lately because the transaction fees on the base chain, the base Bitcoin network, are very low right now. And we even have blocks, some of the blocks being mined have empty space in them, right? The demand isn't that high yet for these on-chain transactions. So the Lightning Network allows for micropayments to happen and for Bitcoin transactions to scale. And this used to be the use case for a lot of altcoins, right? A lot of other cryptocurrencies came up because they tried to sell you on the fact that they could do more transactions, settle more transactions more quickly. But now with the Lightning Network, we can have Bitcoin mass adoption, right? We can have people day to day transact in Bitcoin, and we don't have that scaling problem anymore because of the Lightning Network. And there's still work to do, right? It's not a perfect system. There's still optimizations to be made, and we have to build out the infrastructure for this to work for everyone and create the right education to educate people on Bitcoin and the Lightning Network. But this is so awesome. Like, it's just so cool that I was able to use Bitcoin to buy something in real life. And a lot of people that, doubt Bitcoin, don't understand it yet, right? They're not going to try to understand it until it's right in their face. Like, they don't want to understand Bitcoin because it's not used in their day-to-day lives. But now this is a real start for getting that and piquing people's interest and curiosity. Like on the kiosk there's a big Bitcoin logo. Like they cycled through a few different pictures, but they have like now accepting Bitcoin, and that makes people more curious about it. And yeah, that's the road we need to continue going down. And yeah, I'm just super excited, super bullish on the Lightning Network. I'm working on a project too that I am hopefully announcing very soon, that will help facilitate Bitcoin Lightning adoption and education and transactions. So yeah, I'm gonna go enjoy this burger. And yeah, it was just a super cool experience, super smooth experience. I walked in, they just put a QR code on the screen and I scanned it, and it took like just seconds, and I paid for my food using Bitcoin. So it's a very exciting day in history, a very exciting moment in time. I've used Bitcoin, but my first time like buying a physical good with Bitcoin. So yeah, this is awesome. Let me know if you've had a chance to get to Steak and Shake yet and buy a burger using Bitcoin. And yeah, as always, together, let's work, save, build a brighter future with Bitcoin. See you in the next video.